And open Word cover page. Okay. All right. Nope, I got the wrong thing. All right, we're gonna call this meeting to order. It's 6 o'clock. Randy will be joining us momentarily. I need to do a roll call real quick. Jason?
Here.
Jill?
Here.
Kathy? Wade?
Yes.
Ryan?
Here.
Randy?
Here.
And I'm here. All board members are present. Just so everybody knows, we will be recording this meeting this evening. We have started here at 6 o'clock. We need to approve the minutes from the September 9th board meeting. Is there any additions or changes to those board minutes? And if not, I just need a motion and a support from someone.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
Support.
Motion by Walther, support by Mastenbrook. Roll call. Jason?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Wade?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Motion is approved. Next up on the agenda, hearing of the citizens. Is there any citizens wishing to speak to an agenda or non-agenda item? And how I would like to handle this evening is I would like you to hit the little button in the corner with your little hand up icon, and then I will have James unmute you, and you can state your full name for the record and then give your public comment. And I just want to remind everybody, this is not an open discussion back and forth with the board. It's just an open public comment section. And the board will take those comments and, whether we do anything with them tonight, I'm not going to guarantee anything like that will happen. So do we have anybody wishing to speak to an agenda or a non-agenda item?
I don't see the hand up button, but I have my hand up in my picture.
Okay, Dr. Peterson, I will let you go first.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, this is Dr. Lloyd Peterson. I have two questions for the board, and just for clarity. I know the bond issue passed for the building of the schools, and part of that was the refurbishing of the tennis courts. And I thought this summer, given how everybody's at home, would have been a great time to get that started as long as we had the funding. I noticed that the courts are still in disrepair, or I guess I could say that, lack of repair state, actually dangerously repaired state. And I was wondering, did you pursue that at all this summer, or why we didn't do that? And you can answer that later. And my second concern is more of a concern to me. And this is a concern Jennifer and I have had some communication regarding this. And it was my concern about Dr. Stitt back in March, or I think it was March. We renewed his 3-year contract. And then in June or early July, it was determined that he would serve one of those 3 years. And I thought, at the time, I mentioned to Jennifer, what happened? Was it so egregious that we needed to get rid of him? If so, why are we keeping him for a year? And I was told it was kind of a mutual agreement, or that actually Dr. Stitt had asked to leave. Well, my question regarding that then is, and we talked briefly about it, if he truly wanted to leave, why are we paying a $250,000 settlement to have him out of the last 2 years of his contract? I think that sounds to me like a lot of money to pay someone who asked to leave our district. So those are my two questions, and when you can provide an answer, I sure would like to know why that occurred.
All right, thank you, Dr. Peterson. Is
Thank
there
you.
anybody else? Go ahead. Sorry.
I just said thank you.
Oh, okay. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to an agenda or a non-agenda item? I can't see everybody's hands, so if somebody sees. Is there anybody else? No. Oh, Corey, is that you? Yeah, Corey Benz. Okay. Can you unmute Corey, please?
I think I'm unmuted now.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here today just to, I guess, speak for a majority of family members in the community regarding our current state of schooling and pretty much the non-face-to-face aspect of schooling. So this isn't me personally talking. This is me being a mouthpiece for about 30 to 50 families. They reached out for me to do this, so I figured I'd do it for them. They want to know what the plan is. They're seeing, one of the things that they said is the survey that we did to start this school year, the majority of families in the school district initially voted for face-to-face and wanted to their kids to be in school. I mean, that wasn't the case. Obviously, we went to the hybrid. And, what they say now is that they guarantee that that rate is much higher now, since a lot of the local schools have proven that it's safe to go back. Data and statistics in other countries and states is overwhelmingly supported going back face-to-face. With children being at almost zero risk, child adult, I'm not going to go through all the statistics that was provided me, but the child adult transmission extremely low. For example, the 70,000 positive cases nationwide for college students, and there only being 3 hospitalizations. I mean, just really hammering home the fact that kids are safe. The kid to adult transmission is safe. And if the international and domestic data isn't enough, if you look locally, Mendon, Colon, White Pigeon, Constantine, et cetera, have been face-to-face since day one. And they haven't had an outbreak. They have had comparable rates, obviously, to us in Schoolcraft. So the parents here want to know, do we have a plan? If we have a plan, what is it? And if so, is there something we can vote on? I mean, what can be done to get our kids back face-to-face? Because I know as a parent, on a personal side, the teachers and administration are going above and beyond. I know they're probably working countless hours, more than they you do in a typical school year. But for students like my middle school student, it's not going to work for him. So there's concern out there in the community that there isn't a plan in place. And one thing I think of as a district is the last thing we'd want is Vicksburg's going back 4 days a week, Dowagiac's going back full time. All these other schools go face to face, and Schoolcraft doesn't. There's going to be families that leave the school district, and that's concerning. Obviously, that's where we get most of our funding. So, that's one of the things that concerns me the most. But I just wanted to be a mouthpiece for a lot of people in the community and bring it to your attention. And I don't know if there's been any discussions on your end. But thank you for your time.
Thanks, Corey. I see one more hand up, I think. Jen Rixey, if you want to, not Corey, James, will you unmute her, please? Go ahead, Jen.
Hi, thanks for giving me a minute. I just wanted to echo what Corey said too. And I appreciate what everybody's done. I appreciate even just having a chance to jump on here tonight and speak for, just like what Corey said, just for a number of families that I've been talking to over the last days and weeks. And we are kind of all in agreement. Our children learn best face-to-face. We want to get them back in the schools. Obviously, we want to do it as safe as possible, but I know we're one of the last districts to do it. And I feel I was watching a video the other day, and there's 22 countries that opened their schools back up before the United States of America did. And to my knowledge to date, there have been 0 student to teacher transmissions. So I feel like it can be done safely. I feel like the science is there, that it's actually showing it can be done safely. So I just want to encourage the teachers and administrators to get, if at all possible, as soon as possible, to get our kids back face-to-face where they can learn best. But I feel like in the same breath, and I don't want to ask for too much, but I do feel like, I worry about sending our kids back 5 days a week, 8 hours a day with a mask on. And I think, I guess I want to just kind of pose the question, do we have any rights as parents right now? I know that we have the right to homeschool, but do we have the right, do we have any rights still as far as our children are concerned, if they are in the schools, you know, we want to be able to make decisions that we feel are best for our children. And ultimately, I'd love to get them there without a mask on. I feel like more and more data is coming out all the time that it's actually harmful. And, you know, you're seeing that all these rises in bacterial infections and strep and impetigo and all this stuff is on the rise because of the mask. So I feel like I'd love to be hopefully optimistic that at some point, if we can get the kids back in, that shortly to follow, that would be that we could be able to do it safely without the mask. So that's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen. Really appreciate your comments here tonight. Is there anyone else wishing to speak to an agenda or a non-agenda item? Just raise your little hand, either in the picture or on the participant screen. Okay, if not, we're going to move along in our agenda and we will continue through to the bottom, and possibly some of these questions may get answered as we go along. Superintendent's report, Dr. Stitt.
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Corey and Jen, as well as Doc Peterson, for your questions. We appreciate that. I did want to, for the superintendent's report, I asked that Jeff Clark, so he's going to take a portion of my superintendent's report because I want he leads our athletics, and I know that. First of all, let me share with you all, you are absolutely correct. These are definitely trying times for us all. It seems like every minute the rules change. Again, this is from Rusty Stitt's perspective. We don't know what executive order, if there's an executive order, what's local, what's state, and ongoing. And so it's very challenging. Please note, and I know you do, that the safety and well-being of our kids is of the utmost importance. I totally agree that and support getting to face-to-face as soon as possible. I do agree, you know, talking about the science and looking at other districts that have gone there. I will say thank you to our leadership and our team for putting a plan in place. We were looking to bring about even a little more of a face-to-face, but the numbers just didn't add up with the parents and requests. But we will be looking at it by November 9th. So here's an answer for you. By November 9th, I have to report to the board on a number of factors, and this again is a state requirement. You will see on our website, we are required every day now to report on our website the number of COVID cases, and so you will see that, thanks to Mr. Weiss, that has started today. But by November 9th, we will be putting a recommendation to our board, and we are meeting with teacher leaders Wednesday. A part of that meeting, we have 3 board members as well. We also are working on a board workshop, which is scheduled for next week to address this as well. So we'll really, again, learning and growing as each and every day comes. You know, I felt we did have a student case and dealt with it. You know, we will not be using Facebook again to share out because, again, you know, everybody, as you can imagine, folks, there's a full spectrum. Some folks, you know, don't want any, you know, face-to-face, and we have that option available. And while others want full face-to-face, and currently we don't. And so I think, again, respectfully agreeing with you, you know, let's look at options and how can we do this. And Jen, thank you. I agree, safely, and looking at science and looking at what other school districts are doing. So appreciate both Corey and Jen for your sharing of that. while we're staying on the COVID piece, I do want to share about the 30% rule that is there with MHSAA. So Jeff, would you kind of take a portion of my superintendent's report, please?
Okay, as Dr. Stitt said, the MHSA put out guidelines to where we could have a maximum of 1,000 people in our facilities if our facility allowed that. Our facilities don't allow for 1,000 people in. So in communication with the health department today, we were given the go-ahead from the health department to use our 30% number for outdoor venues and 20% venue number for indoor venues. So that being said, now we're going to have a little bit more capacity for our folks here at Schoolcraft and for the visiting teams. Way we're going to do this is we're going to prioritize our tickets to make sure that all of our parents, whether they're split families or not, each parent gets a ticket to come in. So if we have a student athlete who has a divorced family and they need 4 tickets, that student family is going to get 4 tickets. After we've taken care of our parents, we're going to get our students in the seats, starting with our seniors first, and then we'll be going down with our juniors. And that's how we're going to be allowing the tickets to be allocated. So we're going to take care of our parents of the athletes first to make sure that they can come and watch. And then we're going to go to our seniors and our juniors so they can get in there and watch their fellow classmates to be at the games. That being said, just for an example, our 30% capacity at Roy Davis is 480 fans. So splitting that amongst Lawton and us, which would be our next home game, that would be 240 fans for Lawton and 240 fans for Schoolcraft. Indoor capacity for the gyms are, depending on the setup, it's about 180 for basketball and 230 for volleyball, just because of the configuration of the court. So as I said earlier, we're going to make sure that our families are taken care of first, so all parents will be able to come in so that we don't have the issues that we have currently where we can give 2 tickets out, but they need 4 tickets. And then we'll begin to get our student body in to watch their classmates, starting at the seniors first and then going to the juniors. So that's great news on the viewing and from the health department. We'll still try to continue to stream our events live via YouTube, so those who can't be there can still watch our events. Did I miss anything, Dr. Stitt? I think that covered it all.
Hey, Jeff,
No.
Yes.
I got one quick question. I think we have the volleyball and the basketball switched around, don't we?
No, because the volleyball court's smaller,
Mm-hmm.
we can bring the bleachers out closer to the edge of the court. Because we still have to social distance the players, we can't pull the bleachers out as far for basketball as we could for volleyball. So
Okay.
actually, there's a little bit more capacity for volleyball, believe it or not, than there is basketball currently. Now, as Dr. Stitt said, that could change as we move forward. So those numbers could go up. And maybe we don't even have that issue where the MHSA may say, we don't have to socially distance the players on the bench. If that happens, we can bring those bleachers out more, then our capacity is going to increase.
Gotcha. Okay, I was just thinking of it the wrong way, like that side didn't come out, so that's
Yeah.
why I was confused. Okay, perfect. Anything else, Rusty? that you
Yeah, I
wanted to-
just also wanted to, just from my perspective, Dr. Peterson, it's been a blessing here. This is year 10. This has been one hell of a year to end my career here in Michigan. I wouldn't put this on anybody. Again, I will tell you, I'm working harder than I've ever worked before. And that's not just Rusty Stitt, that's my admin team and our teachers as well. These are tough times, trying to figure out things because of the newness and trying to keep up with the regulations. Again, I wouldn't wish this upon anybody. So I certainly want to get back to some normalcy. With that said, it's been a great 10 years. I'm very blessed and fortunate to serve this community. And again, the average tenure of a superintendent is 3 years, and that is a national piece. So to be able to be here for 10 years, it truly is a blessing. You are correct. I have a 1-year contract, and I told the board, the board that hired me, and Kathy Mastenbrook is the lone person that was a part of that. that's on the board, so we've certainly had some transition, that I'd be here for 10 years. My baby is a senior, Maeve, and that's kind of where I had always thought of, I'm still young, but I always thought that, and I'm able to retire out of Michigan. So I will be retiring out of Michigan. There always was a severance in my contract. And so, again, it was, it's all foiable, so you certainly can look at it. But it was increased with an agreement with the board. So again, very blessed to be here. I wanted, I wanted to look at, if I'm going to reiterate, 10 years was my number. And this just really, in working with the board leadership, it just, came about. It felt right, I think, for both parties. And so I think we're leaving on good accord, even though it's tumultuous times. So I just wanted to answer from my perspective, Doc Peterson. I love the place, love the people, but it's a 1-year contract.
Thanks, Dr. Stitt. Is there anything else, Rusty, that we need in the superintendent?
I think we're gonna cover some things as you pointed out. So I just wanted to, again, if you can respond to the others from a school board perspective at a later date, but I did want to share in my report those things.
Absolutely, thank you. Okay, next up is we need to pay the bills. We have bills totaling $390,607.64. I need a motion and a support to pay the bills.
So moved.
Motion by Kathy,
Support.
support by Jill. Roll call, Jason,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Wade. Wade,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Motion is approved. Agenda additions and changes. I would like to make one deletion from the agenda. We do not need to do number 7 as the rules of the road have changed according to COVID. So we don't have to do an agreement of remote meeting decision-making because they approved virtual meetings through the end of 2020, if we so choose, but we will be starting to meet in person as of next week for our board workshop. Next up, Dr. Stitt, Soaring Eagle Award.
Yeah, so I'm going to do item 1 and 2 together. This is October is the Administrator Recognition Month. And I hope, I know there's a couple administrators on, they would be in present, physically if we were face to face, but Jeff Clark, our athletic director, James Weiss, our technology director, Amy Goldschmidting, our HR, Brenda Lynn, food service, Mark Fox, transportation, Shelby Getzinger, the head of our student services, Michelle Schneider, the lead in special education, Andrea Blodgett is our Eagle Zone and pre-K coordinator, Matt Daly, our principal at the high school, Dave Powers at the middle, and Matt Webster. As I've said already, this is one extremely talented group that I'm blessed to work with each and every day. They come, when you look at our beliefs and our values of the organization, it just, they model those each and every day. They're extremely hardworking, especially during these times. You're gonna, I mean, they're putting 60, 70, 80 hours in just, again, for the sake of our kids and our community and our staff. They set the tone for our district in moving our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and our strategic targets forward. And I'm just so proud of them. I'm proud to be a part of this team and have them help lead our organization. And so on behalf of the Board of Education and our staff, I took it easy this year. We picked up, you know, what I forgot Kyle Nixon, our newbie. So it just came to my mind. I wrote down their names that I wouldn't forget, and I did. Kyle Nixon, and he's on, our new businessman and finance director, doing a phenomenal job. But they are going to spend the night, spend an evening, hopefully with a loved one, and go out to eat at one of the Millennium restaurants. And so, yes, if everybody could join me with a clap. Thank you, team. I love you. And I know I'm speaking from our staff and our board as well.
Thank you, Rusty. Next up is our bond planning overview, and I'm going to let Jill take this over and let you know exactly where we're at and what's going on today.
Thanks, Jen. We're making great progress on our projects. I'll start with the junior high. The bids were sent out earlier, actually end of last month. We received our bids back on October 6th, which was last week, with great response from subcontractors, meaning we have 2 or 3 or more bids per category, which is phenomenal news for us. That means we're going to get good, fair pricing. And our construction manager, Triangle, is currently reviewing those bids, making sure they're all encompassing, they're covering everything we need them to, they're vetting them against one another, they're interviewing those firms, and they plan to make their final recommendation in each bid category to the steering committee this week, Thursday evening. So next week, Monday night, 6 o'clock, that's October 19th, we'll have a special board meeting where the steering committee will present the scope of the bids to the full board for approval to move forward with the construction on the junior high wing of our high school. As far as the pre-K through 6 or our new elementary building goes, we just wrapped up schematic design, and we are slowly now moving into design development with great emphasis on focus groups, meaning taking particular areas that need a lot more stakeholder involvement, getting that information back so that we can progress our designs. For instance, we're working with the administration or the front office with a specific group of folks. We're working with the pre-K through 2nd grade teaching staff to talk about what their particular needs are, so on and so forth. So that is moving along really well and getting great feedback from those focus groups. It's looking like the 7th and 8th grade competition gym is making most sense to go into that early or go into the elementary building. So we feel really confident that that's the direction that we are going in. And our design partners issued the schematic design drawings, which means Triangle, the construction manager, has those in hand now, and they can work on getting us a schematic design construction estimate. That will come back to us in the next few weeks. That way we can vet where we are on a construction estimate level compared to what monies we have in the bond to make sure we're not over designing the building, to make sure we don't have to value engineer or pull any major aspects out or make any major design changes before we get too much further down the road with of getting the design completed. As far as athletics, we're still holding on the stadium design for now until we get the educational spaces completed. And now that we've got a real good schematic design sitting on the site of the current high school building where we're going to be placing that elementary school, Dr. Peterson, we can now start looking into what's the right answer for the tennis courts. Is it in the same location? Will it be in a new location? So I appreciate your comments on, boy, it would have been a great time to build them this summer. However, we didn't know where the best location to build those was at the time. So we needed to vet the design out more fully, really look at the whole site, get our civil engineers in, and we needed to understand how the buses come in, how parent drop-off goes at both buildings now, since we're on one site. what kind of expanded parking we need by putting the competition gym in the elementary building, to really determine where those tennis courts are going. That is still in process. So we will not be breaking ground on those tennis courts for a while until we fully vet the site design. I can't think of anything else to update. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Is there any questions out there? Because now would be a good time to kind of throw them out, since we do have a steering committee meeting coming up Thursday. You know, anything so that we can try and get those questions answered for you by next Monday. And we will send out a package ahead of time with Scott's bid documents and things like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing to note is, if we get to approve these bids Monday of next week, depending on weather, we will be able to put shovel in the ground and break ground on that junior high addition yet this year, which is great. We're then ahead of schedule on that construction. So that is the good news. Let's hope the freeze doesn't come soon and the snow doesn't start flying, which would slow us down, but I'm hopeful that we'll get the foundations in at least yet this year.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Anything from anybody else? I don't see any hands up. Okay. So we're going to move on to second reading of board policy updates. Rusty, I'll let you.
Yeah, just again, this has gone through the second month. That's how we approve board policy. You have had for a couple months the recommendations from the policy committee, the board, and we'll entertain any questions. Jason Walter is the chair of that committee, and you can ask him.
Yeah, any questions, comments? Do we need to adopt this then, Rusty?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so I need a motion and a support from somebody.
I'll make a motion to approve our.
Motion
current
by
policy.
Walter,
Support.
support by Hunt. Okay, roll call. Jason,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
and me is yes. Motion is approved. Next up is capital budget and stipend recommendations. Are you doing this, Rusty, or is Kyle?
Yeah, I'll take it over.
Okay.
Kyle's not supposed to be on. He was sick today, so he's here doing extended duty. So I will take the lead here. Again, we met as a finance committee last week, chaired by Kathy Mastenbrook, and we are, because of the budget and the formula that we're given and what we are allocated, we are getting more than what we had thought we were getting significantly. So we are maintaining the foundation at $8,111. We're getting one-time monies of $65. And then there's a multitude of funds right now that's helping us with coronavirus. And so through the finance committee, we are saying to put the capital budget, the enhancement millage that typically is taken and put into capital, we're asking that be given back to capital budgets, and that's again the norm for us. With that said, there were a number of improvements for the district that were put on hold because of Corona, and so we're requesting a number of things. A batwing mower, that is the long mower that has the arms for our tractor. Again, ours is working, but it's only time. That has the price tag of $19,663.66. That is under the threshold. We certainly could do that without board approval, but wanted to get it out there. We are asking to get another van. If you recall, you have supported one van. Our vans are over 200,000 miles. They have seen better days. We need to get that our vans back in order, and so we're asking to buy another van out of capital. And for our visitors, we're looking at just about a little over 1 million in our capital budget. So there is money there to do such things as this. A few months ago, we voted against buying that truck, again, not knowing what we were going to get from the state. The $42,720 that, again, our oldest truck would be out of commission. We would sell that. So again, we're looking to buy that. With coronavirus money. So this has been something that we've done through capital every year with thanks to our enhancement millage and our families for supporting us. But our 1-to-1 has been paid and cycled through, but we are going to use coronavirus monies. And so we're looking to buy iPads and MacBook stations, totaling $63,569, and then some Chromebooks at $37,655. And so those are the recommendations. Again, you have in your report additional items that we're looking that are under the threshold that we're looking to do as well. So we are asking for your support, and we'll, if you want to do a bundle or if you want them one at a time, I'm going to let Jennifer lead that discussion. But that is our capital budget recommendations for purchases.
Yeah, one quick question, Rusty, just so everybody else knows. The technology purchases, that doesn't include what we already purchased at the end of last year, correct? So we're really getting our technology purchases, way up to date, and even beyond that, just trying to be forward thinking about that. And I know a couple other things that probably would pique some other people's interest. The Performing Arts Center, we're going to do some improvements in there, some lighting and audio, which we desperately needed in there. So that's good. I'm going to continue on with our LED lighting project, some more athletic improvements and things like that. So there are some other things that we are going to do. So I'm going to bundle this all together if that's okay with everybody. If anybody has an objection, put your hand up and tell me now. So
Jen,
I need
I don't have an objection. I just have a question, and I apologize for not asking Kyle this, but because we are reallocating those enhancement mill monies, is there any adjustments to the audit that was done at the end of the year that have to be made because of that?
Kyle, can you pipe in here?
No, there's no adjustments that would need to be made.
Okay, thank you.
Good
Perfect.
question.
Can I get somebody to make a motion and a support?
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Motion by Walter, support by Rakowski. Roll call. Jason,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
Motion is approved. Next up is the 2020, the strategic roadmap. I can't.
Yeah, although if I could add, I had you vote on the capital, and then I would like you to vote on an additional item.
Oh,
and
sorry.
that's stipend. No, that's okay. That's
Go
why.
ahead and tell everybody,
Yeah.
Rusty.
So again, as I've shared, and you all know, our people are putting in crazy hours. They're working extremely hard, and in working with Kyle and the finance committee, we are proposing a 1% off schedule incentive for all staff. And so what that equates to is about in the range of 60 to 70,000. And we will be using coronavirus. We are able to use coronavirus monies for this. And so we're requesting a wonderful surprise to our staff for their hard work and efforts, and wanting to acknowledge them in a financial way with a 1% off schedule recommendation.
Excellent. Do I have a motion and a support?
I'll go ahead and make that motion, Jen.
Support.
Motion by Masterbrook, support by Rakowski. Roll call. Jason,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
and I am a yes. And that motion is approved.
Thank you, board. You know, I know the staff will certainly appreciate this, and I know that the improvements that you've voted on will help us and move us forward. So thank you so much.
Excellent. Next up is the 2021 strategic roadmap. Rusty.
Yeah, so I'm not going to read through that document, but what you will see is, again, continued efforts in moving forward, even during difficult, tumultuous times. You will see some red, which means that COVID kind of got us and that we're not moving forward with those things. Again, what has put a lot of our attention to is the extended learning plan and that initial learning plan with the requirements from the state. We'll entertain any questions that you might have. I'm very proud of our people. Again, we're doing things without committee structure because we do not have the 4 committees that really help us move our strategic plan forward. And so this is driven by some school improvement, a lot by our admin team with certain items. But I'll be quiet and answer any questions you have.
Any questions from anybody? Okay. Seeing there is none. Yep, we're gonna go to final thoughts and announcements. I'm gonna start with Kathy, because you're on my left.
Well, I just want to give a shout out again to the administration and all the staff for, again, all the hard work. Definitely, they are working overtime and beyond. And also it has affected the strategic roadmap, but they still continue to plug away. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Jason.
Hats off to the admin team for the recognition month. I'd like to just recognize everyone for all the community comments that we had earlier, as well as the everyone that's part of the district team. I look forward to working with everyone over the next 3 or 4 weeks to come up with a game plan to get back, hopefully face to face. And it's certainly what our community wants. It's what our kiddos want. And I look forward to working with the district on that. So thank you.
Randy.
Yeah, just to echo what everyone said, thanks to everyone for all the hard work. It looks like we're slowly getting there, and hopefully we can get there sooner than later. So thanks, everyone.
Wade.
Thanks to everyone in the district, all the admin and teachers for all the great work, for the comments from the community. Appreciate all your input.
Jill.
Yeah, I also appreciate the hard work that's going into, what is next as we go through this pandemic. And I would like to just ask the community to still be patient with everybody. As Dr. Stitt alluded to earlier, some of us are ready to have our kids back in school full time, and some of us aren't comfortable with that. So we have to be mindful of everyone's opinion on this virus and the fear that they have. And that includes the staff and especially the teachers. Some are on board with being in school, and some are still really fearful of that. So as our community pushes our teachers, just please don't push too hard, because they have families too, they have situations, and they feel a particular way as far as the coronavirus goes. So there's no one size fits all on this. And we're going to try our best to do what we can to make everybody happy, but we will never make everybody happy. So please bear with us as we go through these unprecedented times.
Thanks, Jill. Ryan.
Boy, you guys covered it all. Nothing for me. Thanks.
Matt Webster.
Yeah, one quick plug from me. First, thank you for all the kind words on Administrator Month. That was great and greatly appreciated. But I want to plug Joe Nocita really fast if I can. For those that don't know, she's an elementary and middle school art teacher that we were able to bring on board a few years ago, and she's just phenomenal. I'd be shocked if you have an elementary middle school kid and you have not heard that name at your dinner table yet. But what I hope you have found a chance to do is go see her virtual art show that launched last week. So that's my plug. Get online. It's linked on the Facebook page. Was also in the elementary newsletter, so you can find it a couple different ways. But I am a big fan of Mrs. Nocita. She does phenomenal things with our kids, and I just want to use this quick minute to plug her and that program, and encourage everybody to check out her virtual art show.
Excellent. Dave Powers.
So I echo Matt's sentiments with Joe Nocita and that art program, and I did get a chance to look at the virtual art show. It's impressive. Great. Hats off. And Jamie Halaski as well was part of that show too. So you'll see elementary through high school students with their work on display. And also, sincerely, thank you, Dr. Stitt and board, for the recognition, the Soaring Eagle recognition, and the recognition of efforts during these challenging times. They are absolutely stressful and emotionally draining. And as Dr. Stitt recognized the admin team, I have those and share those similar feelings for the Schoolcraft Middle School family of staff members. They do an incredible job and work tirelessly, literally tirelessly, student by student. And these aren't primo times. With regard to that and the desire to get back to that normal face-to-face, I'd like to echo the sentiment that we heard this evening, and I feel compelled to share my concern about the positive case that we had at Schoolcraft Middle School recently and the subsequent quarantines. They don't teach you about or prepare you for those kinds of scenarios as you head into leadership and into education, and the way that we love our kids and our families. And to have to face that and what could be the potential outcome of those situations, it's beyond words. So as I'm at the same time personally hopeful for a return to the normalcy, I have a heavy heart right now. I've got a friend and former colleague whose adult young son is currently battling COVID in ICU in a hospital after having contracted it for a second time, once last spring and once now. And, you know, the unfortunate reality that I've had is probably the senior, not probably, I am the senior member of the admin team. The number of times I've had to visit students, their families, and the staff and their families in hospitals and or funeral homes for tragedies. If there's one opportunity to be preventative and to err on the side of caution and safety, you know, I would not be able to live with myself if I knew there was opportunity to make sure that we're ensuring every student and their family and our staff the highest levels of safety and health. So, you know, let's make sure we're waiting. And I appreciate, Joe, your comments too about patience. Let's please make sure that we're waiting until it's absolutely safe. I don't want to visit one more student in a hospital or one more funeral home in my career, which I don't have a ton of it left, but I don't want any more of that for anybody and their families. So again, thank you all for your support and appreciation. It means a lot. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Stitt? You're good? Okay, excellent. I just want to say, again, like everybody else has said, thanks to the admin team. These guys have been putting in a ton of hours and just, you know, getting things done, and it hasn't been fun for anybody. Also, I want to praise my bond committee, all those people that have sat through all those meetings, and especially there's one lady here, Jill, has been on Zoom meetings endlessly, helping us build our building. And so I really, really appreciate that a ton, because, you know, I don't know how to build a building. I'm just a farmer. So I'm glad we have an expert in our midst to help us, along with two great partners, TMP and Triangle. They're doing a phenomenal job and walking us through this step by step. So we're super excited. And again, I want to echo, what a lot of people have said today. We are working on the return to learn plan. And this is a step-by-step process. And I hope everyone will just stick with us. We're not sitting still. We're following the data. We're working with our health department. Jim Rutherford will be with us hopefully next week for our board workshop and help us focus on how we can do things safely to progress in this process of returning to learn face-to-face and how that looks. And we're going to follow the rules all the way along, and we're not going to skip steps in the process. And so I hope folks will just, like I said, stick with us and we will get there. We're not gonna speed through this. We're gonna take our time and get it right. So thus far, we've done a really good job. And so I just look forward to, the next step in this process and, hope for a great rest of our year. If we have nothing else, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll go ahead and make that motion to adjourn.
Motion by Jill. Do I have support?
Support.
Support by Master Book. I don't need a roll call, so we are adjourned at 6:51. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thank you.